What's up guys, Josh Blunt here and welcome to my channel. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Have you ever been talking to somebody and they say that they do not eat meat, and so you're like, oh, so you're a vegetarian? And they say, no, I'm not a vegetarian, I'm a vegan. And then you get this blank look on your face thinking, okay, and you just walk away. Well, that's because there are some differences between the vegan diet and the vegetarian diet, and in fact there's actually some variations of the vegetarian diet as well. And if that sounds confusing, it's because it is. So in this video, I'm going to be going over each different version so you have a better understanding and the pros and cons of a plant-based diet. So with that being said, let's dive in. Alright, so we're going to go over each different version of a plant-based diet. In case this is something that you're interested in, you'll have the best possible approach. Now, regardless of which approach you take, or if you just choose to have a healthier diet in general, adding more plant-based foods to your diet is obviously a plus. Now, I'm not going to go into massive detail into each one of these diets because there's only so much you can say about plants, but I will talk about each individual diet and the differences so you have a better understanding. Alright, so the first one that I'm going to mention is called a flexitarian. A flexitarian is described as someone who is semi-vegetarian, someone who eats mostly plant-based foods but will occasionally eat meat as well. Now, I'm not sure what the vegan community has to say about this, but in my personal opinion, anybody who eats mostly plant-based foods and will occasionally throw in some meat doesn't really need their own name, but that's just my personal opinion. On the other hand, I am a big fan of changing your mindset to help you to create healthier habits into your life. So if having a name makes it easier to be a part of who you are or your identity, and that helps, then I'm all for it. Whatever works. Alright, so that one was the flexitarian. This one is a pescatarian. A pescatarian is someone who eats mostly vegetables and avoids all animal flesh except for fish. So you might be thinking, why in the world would somebody choose fish as their animal meat instead of a juicy steak if they had an option? And the reason that pescatarians choose fish over steak is because fish is high in omega-3 fatty acids as well as essential vitamins, which can be difficult to come across on a plant-based diet. Now, we know that vitamins and minerals, these are good for heart health, metabolism, and even your immune system, among other things. Pescatarians will also choose this version of the diet as more of a stepping stone to a full vegan diet. So that's an option as well. Alright, so the next one is a Lacto-Ovo-Vegetarian. Those who do not eat any form of animal flesh but will still eat dairy and eggs. So this is probably one of the more common versions of a plant-based diet. Those who are not going to eat animal flesh, but they will eat eggs and dairy. Lacto is Latin for milk. Ovo means eggs. If you do not like eggs, call yourself a lacto-vegetarian and do not eat eggs. If you don't like dairy, then call yourself an ovo-vegetarian and don't eat dairy. Whatever works for you. Alright, so on to the last two here. This one is the good old vegetarian. A vegetarian does not eat meat, fish, chicken, and sometimes other animal products as well. So vegetarians will still eat like eggs and dairy and honey and other animal products of that nature. And this is basically where a vegan, a full vegan, is going to draw the line. There's a lot of different variations of the vegetarian diet that I just went over. So they're basically the same with a few modifications. Actually, in 1944, England had created their own vegan society because they didn't want to be involved in the vegetarian lifestyle. There's a lot of different variations and things you can eat and can't eat, and they didn't really want to be a part of that. So they created their own actual full vegan society, which leads me to the last one. And the last one here is full vegan. Vegans do not eat any animal products of any kind, including eggs, dairy, or processed foods containing these or any other animal-derived ingredients. So nothing animal related. Now, people are going to choose one of these diets for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it's just health in general, sometimes it's the environment, sometimes it's ethics. A lot of people do not like violence. They don't like the way the animals are treated at these farms. They don't like the way that the farms are operated and how they are bad for the environment. Sometimes it's a religious thing. Some religions will exclude all animal meats altogether. Either way, there's a lot of different reasons that people will choose a plant-based diet. The most important thing is to choose one that's going to work for you, for whatever reason that is. So let's dive into some pros and cons of a plant-based diet. Alright, so the first pro is going to be lots of nutritional value. Fruits and vegetables are a staple of any vegetarian or vegan diet, and they are packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and dietary fibers, which is something that most of us do not get enough of on the standard American diet. Vitamins and minerals play hundreds of roles in your body, including bone health, immune system, converting fat into energy, as well as repairing cellular damages, just to name a few. Now, you can obviously get the same benefits following any diet if the diet contains some plant-based foods, but the reason that the vegan or the vegetarian diet works so well is because it puts you in a position to where you don't really have a choice, because fruits and vegetables are the foundation of this diet. And again, we don't get a lot of those nutrients. So by putting yourself in that position to where you don't have a choice, it forces you to get the right vitamins and minerals that your body needs to survive. Now, another very common benefit of any diet, but this one as well, is weight loss. And the reason is because plant-based foods are higher in dietary fibers, as I mentioned, and very nutrient dense, meaning they're more satiating. They're gonna fill you up faster and they're gonna keep you full for longer periods of time, which is something that I talk about on this channel all the time. So if you're filling up on nutrient dense whole foods high in fiber, then you're less likely to overconsume on other calories. So obviously this is going to help with weight loss if you're eating fewer calories throughout the day, and the vegan and vegetarian diet will put you in that position. Alright, and another benefit is reduced risk of developing chronic diseases. Plant-based foods have a higher amount of plant compounds, obviously, and antioxidants, which have been proven to lower blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar levels as well, all of which slow the progression of many chronic diseases, especially if you have a history of them in your family. Now, I'm not saying that a plant-based diet is going to prevent you from developing chronic diseases, but what I'm saying is that a standard American diet high in processed foods is going to promote it, or at least increase your chances. Now, even though that there are many benefits to a plant-based diet, that doesn't mean that there isn't any flaws. And a lot of people will base their diet around things that they eliminate. Like, I'm going vegan, so I'm going to eliminate animal-based foods, I'm going to be good to go. This is false. There's a lot of healthy nutrients to animal products, like healthy proteins and other essential vitamins and minerals. So if you don't supplement these in other ways, you could end up with serious health risks. Remember, just because somebody is following a diet doesn't mean there isn't an incorrect way to do that. Which leads me to one of the only cons that I feel need to be mentioned, and that is plant-based eaters can be at a higher risk of nutrient deficiencies. Some that you should be aware of are proteins, B12, vitamin D, calcium, iodine, and omega-3 fatty acids. These are some of the more common deficiencies following a plant-based diet. So does that mean that you can't get these nutrients following a plant-based diet? Of course not. But some of these vitamins and minerals you can't get from plant-based foods, like B12 for an example. So in that case, if you're following a full vegan diet, I wouldn't normally recommend supplementing things because it's best to get the nutrients from whole foods, but in this case, you're gonna have to supplement on this diet. So if you're looking for foods to get healthy proteins, vitamins, and minerals following this diet, I would recommend these: legumes, nuts and seeds, tofu, whole grains and cereals, and lots of fruits and vegetables. There's a lot of different choices to get the right amount of nutrients following this diet, but it will take a little bit of planning and a little bit of looking into. Don't just dive into this diet and start eliminating animal products without looking into what your body actually needs to work properly. And just a quick summary of the foods to avoid: they're gonna be meat, fish, seafood, dairy, eggs, bee products, and all animal-based ingredients. Remember, there's a lot of different variations of this diet, as you can see, so depending on what you choose to do, the things that you need to avoid are gonna need to be adjusted a little bit. And remember, the best diet is the one that you can stick to. So whatever your approach is, as long as you can stick to it consistently, that's gonna be the best approach. So figure out what works for you, adjust a little bit, and grow. Now, in my personal opinion, it's not just the diet that's gonna make you successful, it's by having the right mindset. And by having the right mindset, it's not something that you're born with or not born with. It is something that is developed over time, just like any other habit. So if this is something that you're interested in and you wanna learn more about that, check out the ebook that I have linked in the description box down below on habits and mindset. I think that would be a great place to start. If you found this video valuable, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions at all, put it in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys on the next video.